You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today, we've got a great show today. It's a Training Thursday show, but we're combining nutrition with exercise, with physiology, and physiology just being how your body works. I find it so vitally important to teach people, to educate people before telling them what to do. And the reason is this: I can tell you what to do, just like, a book or anything like that, but it's so much more important. You're more likely to really take hold of it and implement it in your life if you know why you're doing it. So what I'm talking about today, what are the top 5 foods to eat after your workout? I want to tell you why I'm prescribing these foods. And here's the reason: because food really is a prescription. We think of it in terms of medication, but no, nothing is more important than the foods we put into our bodies. I'm just telling you, it starts with food. Yes, nutritional supplements are great, and yes, exercise is great. All those things are great, but it starts with food. It is the predominant thing we're putting into our body. It gives us life, it gives us energy, or it takes it away. And that's the truth. Inflammation really is at the root cause of so many of these health-based issues. And again, it starts with the foods that we eat. So let's talk about it right now. After you finish a workout, whether it be cardio-based or resistance-based, which is exercise with weights or your own body weight. So cardio would be more aerobic-based, and then your resistance would be more anaerobic, where one system medicine aerobic, or one system of exercises aerobic oxygen, and the other is lack of oxygen and the way that the mitochondria and your cells work. So either way, though, your body's going to need to be fueled after your workout. So, there's a lot of misconceptions about what to eat after your workout, but that's why let's get into physiology. After you work out, after you expend energy, and after you've ramped up your nervous system, especially with weight training, you are not prepared to digest a heavy meal. That's just the truth. Because your body does 2 things. It's either in the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system, which is your exercise. Remember, even though your exercise may be fun, it's still a stress in your body. So when you're in that fight or flight based mode, that sympathetic nervous system based mode, you are not in the rest and digest, which is the parasympathetic, right? So before we have that big meal, we need to give our bodies, not just our heart rate. Our heart rate, I know it's going to recover within 5 minutes. We have to give our bodies time to recuperate, to calm down, to allow the blood to flow out of the muscles and back to the stomach if we hope to be able to digest that meal. Remember, all systems of your body are not all systems go at the same exact time. Sometimes it's a fight or flight stress response, and sometimes it's a rest and relax, which is why people tell you, very smart, old school naturopaths that I learned from, like the brilliant old school people, there's a lot of truth to you should be seated and calm while eating. You should be relaxed and happy while eating. Why? Because the saying goes, death looks over to the man who rushes or is stressed while eating. And the old school saying of that is, death looks over the man who stands while eating. And that just simply means this, is if you are not allowing for proper digestion to take place, you are then going to force undigested food to ferment in the stomach, causing bacteria, putrefying, also moving into the small intestine, causing really just a host of bacterial and toxic-based issues. And again, the root of the immune system is in the digestive tract. Okay, I don't want to get too deep down that path, but remember, our bodies are not ready for a heavy meal after we work out. So trying to sit down to 8 ounces of chicken breast or steak or something like that, plus a bunch of veggies or a salad, and who knows, the old recommendation, which I've even seen it recommended today, is having people drink chocolate milk after workout because they said that would be a great protein shake. That is absolutely ridiculous because milk is super hard to digest because it contains proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, and the fats are typically homogenized, meaning like we're not drinking raw milk, right? Very few people drink that. And the protein from regular milk isn't whey-based, it's casein, and casein is a slower digesting protein. So totally throw out that myth of drinking chocolate milk or protein after your workout. I can see where they got it because milk has protein, chocolate has sugar to kind of get the glucose back into you. It's just still not a good recommendation. I mean, absolutely not at all. Okay, so what is good to have after your workout? Well, bottom line is this. If you're looking for weight loss, you're going to want to drink good old-fashioned water. Yes, water. And it doesn't mean that's the only thing you're going to have, but for about a half hour to 45 minutes to an hour after your workout, you're not going to eat because you want to continue that amazing fat-burning metabolism that's going on at that time. Your heart rate's going to come down, your body's still going to be revved up, and it's still going to be using fat as its predominant fuel source. Keep that going. Okay, the next level to that would be, okay, I need something. I need to replenish my body. I can't just have water. You're going to have a protein-based shake, like our daily all-in-one shake that I recommend. That's used for a smoothie in the morning, can also be used directly after your workout. Or if you're someone that likes to use a whey-based protein, that would be the time to have it because it's going to supply your muscles with amino acids that they do need coming from that protein. And whey protein is an easy to digest protein. Again, we use both in my practice. I'm just on the variety of I'm completely dairy free, so I don't use whey. And I certainly would never use casein. Casein is a very cheap protein powder, dairy based, and it has been shown to cause pre-cancerous based issues, right? I can't say it leads to cancer, but I can say it does things to the body that could cause cancer. So can't recommend it. Absolutely can't recommend it. Okay, let's say now that weight loss isn't your number one goal, but sure, you'd like to trim up a little bit, tone up your body, but overall good health. All right, well, this is the time to have some fruit. Right after your workout, you can wait a half hour. I think that's a great time. But remember, why am I recommending first these liquid-based things and now some fruit, which is pretty easy to digest as well, and predominantly water? One is your body's dehydrated. It needs water back, okay? The second thing is that it needs minerals. So that's simple. We're going to get these fruit and this easy to digest things from the fruit, such as minerals and vitamins and all that great stuff. Fruit's also 80+% water. So again, we're getting that hydration, but also your body would very much like glucose to replenish glucose stores. We're talking about health here, right? You can show me stats for this and that for very specific scenarios about keto this and keto that. Okay, I'm not going to disagree with it. However, your body would very much and prefer to run on glucose because glucose is what's used predominantly for the fuel stores inside the muscles. You have about 400 grams of glucose inside those muscles. You have about 100 grams, give or take 20, for the liver, which is that big organ under the right side of your rib cage. And then your bloodstream itself needs a certain amount of glucose as well. Glucose is very normal. It's when we go overboard, when we eat too many processed carbs, that is when we have issues with blood sugar, and that's when we start to add too much weight. But remember, you have to look at the body type as well. The Vata body type could have easily 400 grams of carbs a day. The Mesomorph or the Pitta, they would have more like maybe 100 to 200 or 150 to 250. And the Kapha-based body type, that's when we start seeing all these great things with keto because their body type does much better with maybe somewhere around 75 to 150 grams of carbs per day. So you also have to look at your body type, right? This is not just so black and white for everyone. There's a lot of gray space. Okay. That's why I'm giving you all these scenarios. The next one you could have, number 4, would be fresh pressed juice. This is one of those times where people love fresh juice, right? But they're not always doing vegetable-based juice like I recommend. They're not just doing celery and carrot and maybe some juice spinach and parsley and lemon or lime or ginger, or beet's great too. They're adding in things like apple. And once you start to add fruit into the mix, you're raising fructose levels, but you're also raising the glycemic index of that actual fruit juice and how quickly it could potentially turn to body fat in your body. However, after you work out, your body's ready to take in some sugar because it has to replenish glucose stores before it can start to rebuild those muscles. So that's a great thing to do after you work out. That would be totally fine. And of course, my favorite of them all would be a second smoothie for the day. You had one for breakfast. Okay, you want to replenish your body. What could you do? Well, you could take that fresh pressed juice, or you could take that fresh fruit fruit and the protein and the water. So look, I'm taking all four and I'm combining them together. And when I combine them together, I get the exact thing the body wants. I get the fruit. I get the protein and amino acids. I get all of the minerals, the vitamins, everything. So if you're using something like the all-in-one shake that I recommend, that's fantastic. If you don't want to do that, do your own protein powder. Get in these fresh fruits. You can put in some greens powder if you want. You could do some green juice. All of those things mixed together in a nice 20 plus ounce. I sometimes even do 24 ounces or more for my smoothie to fully hydrate my body. I'm telling you, it's exactly what your body's looking for. Your body's not looking for a lot of fat after the workout because that's going to slow the digestive process as well. Give it an easy to digest protein. Give it some very easy to digest carbs. And then that's your post-workout, right? And then after that, you can look at breakfast, lunch, or dinner as another meal, but not your post-workout. Your post-workout, you want something that's very easy to digest. And if you're saying to yourself, well, I don't really want a smoothie, I don't want to do any of these things, well, then simply give yourself an hour or more before you sit down to that meal after your workout. It will still help to replenish your muscles, but remember, your body has to calm down. The nervous system has to calm down, or all that great food you're eating after your workout and whole food simply won't be able to be digested to its fullest capacity. So at the same time, you have to look at that. You want to absorb all that great food, not just put it into your body. So hopefully this all makes sense. And of course, we'll link things up in the show notes. Always feel free to go back to the show notes page. Today in particular is StephenCabral.com/313 or 313. And if this episode could help anyone that you know, please do feel free to simply share it with them. Thank you everyone for tuning in to another Cabral Concept. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to StephenCabral.com/courses.